Welcome, everybody, to the Jive Sports Football Podcast. I am your humble host, Brandon. I'm here with my very good friend, Zack. What's on the docket for today, Zack? We're looking at a little bit of NFL Week 5 happened. We got some general banter bits and whatnot. How are you feeling this fine morning? We're both rocking the jerseys. I love that.
Completely unplanned as well. We did not talk about this, but we know what's happening this week. It's going to be
Tomorrow, even.
the first time that the two Jive Sports co-hosts have two teams. Their favorite teams are going to play each other.
They
Basically,
are.
Thursday night is prime time. It's the only game that people have. Two division rivals. Been pretty
Prime time, we're
lopsided.
going to be underneath. We're going to be underneath the microscope. We got Jackson Dart and that vaunted defensive line against my Eagles and their offensive woes. It's going to be. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a closer game than we think.
Well, there's two things I have to do right now. One of them,
Give me up to
start with number.
speed. What do we got
Try
to
to
do?
make it quick. I just gotta kind of call
Take your
you out
time.
for.
Take your time. Don't rush yourself. First of all, don't
I gotta
rush
call.
yourself.
I gotta call you out for something, pal.
Really.
So here's what happened. I get a text on my phone last week, and it's from what I thought is your phone, and it said, "Hey, show's canceled next week. I'm gonna be out of town." So I'm like, "Cool. I'm gonna go down to Indianapolis to watch the Colts and the Raiders, and because I love Danny Jones or whatever." And the night before the game, I'm out with some friends and we're drinking, and I see this bewildered gentleman. Looks bloody. I don't know. I'm kind of like one of those fainting goats, those goats that when you scare them they just fall stiff. I do that with blood. I don't know why. Uh, so I saw this gentleman kind of like stumbling towards me, and I was like, "Sir, do you need help?" But that's all I remember, and I passed out and woke up, Monday night, and I'm like, "Man, where am I?" And they're like, "Sir, you're in Indianapolis," and I was like, "Well, what happened? How did I get here?" And they said, "We just found you passed out on the street." And I was like, the last thing I remember was this guy covered in blood. Looked like he got stabbed or something. And but the point of the story was, uh, then I get back home and I'm looking at YouTube, and there's you and Captain Pastrami just yucking it up. He ethered me a couple weeks ago, and now it seems like possibly you're either involved with it, where I got this text saying, "Oh, hey, don't worry about next week, you know, whatever, we're not going to be recording." And then there's you two guys yucking it up, old pals. Are you ever going to have my back? This guy should be in prison. Captain Pastrami.
he I plead the fifth. I need representation until I get into the details of such things. However, he is a better vibe than you. He tends to be a bit more optimistic when it comes to his own football team, and it's a good juxtaposition from your usual depressive Giants stance. I'm not saying I'm picking favorites here, but
I say bad
also
things. I say bad things about the New York Giants.
you'll pick against them every time. Captain Pastrami's the only one that has their back. He's the only believer.
I guess that's fair.
All right, and was that a Mark Sanchez reference as well?
Mark Sanchez, what happened with him?
Shut up. Shut up.
What's going on with Mark Sanchez?
Mark Sanchez, butt fumbled the rest of his life in an incredible. You know this. You know this. Sanchez
Dude,
tried to beat up
I've
like
been
some 7-year-old
incapacitated.
dude. He
Huh?
did beat up a 7-year-old dude.
Mark Sanchez beat up a 70-year-old guy?
Yes, and then got stabbed.
Where?
He would assume Indianapolis.
That's a weird assumption. Isn't he from like California or New York or something?
Or I don't know where Mark Sanchez resides. He's about to be in
Oh,
cell block
are you
B.
trying to imply that the bloody gentleman I walked into was Mark Sanchez?
The chances are low, but never zero.
This is unbelievable. I'm gonna have to look this up. So the second thing that I have to do this, and it's been a long time coming
Hard hitting analysis, by the way.
because our teams are playing this week, and
They
as
are.
you are well aware, and as most people are, the Eagles have had the Giants number for a number of years. It's very lopsided. I don't remember the last time we beat you guys in a meaningful game.
Been a minute.
I off the top of my head, I probably couldn't tell you what the the record's been the last, but it's probably like they probably beat us 16 of the last 17 or something like that
Yeah.
times. Does that sound about right? Same with the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
We usually have you.
But I being the fan that I am and kind of doing whatever I can to turn this thing around because something's got to give, and we got to get rid of this bad juju, this voodoo, this curse that's been put on us, and I think I might be partly responsible for that. And here's why. I want to say this was quite a while ago. And this is my fault. 7 or 8 years ago, probably around the time things got really bad in this lopsidedness. I made a bet with a friend. His name is Anthony. Anthony, we'll call him B because I don't know if he wants his name said. We made a bet. He's an Eagles fan just like you. And you know what we bet?
Go Birds. What did you bet?
If the Eagles won, I would have to sing the Eagles fight song, Fly Eagles Fly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know it well.
And of course, the Eagles won that game. And through different situations, personal issues, and deleting Facebooks and coming back and leaving, and kind of he's maybe military. I think he's stationed in Japan right now. So just losing contact with somebody. And I feel like if we're gonna do this show and we're gonna have these little bets and these humiliations, and right now there's a big week for us. Uh, I need to show that I'm credible, that I'm not a bet welcher, that when I say something, I'm going to do it. Now, this is, I don't know, 7 or 8 years late.
Are
So
you going to do it?
right now, I'm going to try to sing the Fly Eagles Fly fight song.
Do you even know the cadence of it? Do you even know how it
Well,
goes?
I have my phone in front of me. I'm going to try to follow along with that. I've listened to it once or
This
twice.
is incredible. So you lost the bet years ago and you never did it, and now you're trying to right the wrongs of your forefathers, right?
Yeah, because I might be the reason why everything has gone to hell.
This is
And
incredible.
this could be the turning point. This could be the Giants beat the Eagles thanks to me. So I'm not the best singer, but I'm going to try. I'm gonna try to do this so I can hear a little bit, and I'm not. Hopefully, we don't get copyright struck. So here we go. Gonna try this a little bit. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to
You
victory.
gotta do it.
Eagles, Eagles. One thing I want to say about that song, and
Banger! Banger!
one thing I got to say about it is hit 'em low, cheating. Hit 'em high, targeting, also cheating. They're admitting to this and advocating for and promoting it in their fight song.
Winners win, bro. Winners win.
So that was probably really bad. I probably should
That
have
was
practiced more.
incredible. That was
I was probably
incredible.
a little delayed because I should have practiced.
No, we
Um,
improv. They call you one take Zach.
yeah, that one take crack. So hopefully that can help reverse some of our bad fortunes. And yeah,
If the
and you got nothing.
Giant, do
You
you guys
you
have?
are you get to be like the recipient or the get to bear the good fruits of somebody else's labor because
Yes,
that had nothing to do with you. I do owe you a humiliation, and we need to figure out what that is. But
I get to
hopefully
sit in
this will set the
the
record
shade of a
straight.
tree that I never planted. That was absolutely incredible. Do the Giants have a fight song?
Probably Jim Jones. We fly high, no lie. Remember that from
You remember
2007?
that was you know it, right?
Yeah, but they did
Baller.
the New York version where they had puts Eli Manning's name in there and Strahan and Tuck and Umanora and stuff.
I'm so happy that just happened. You have no idea how happy I am that just happened. Also, that song's
That's for
electric,
you,
especially at the
Anthony.
stadium. Yes, every single time they score. Anthony. Shout out Anthony. Get Anthony on the show.
He should.
So we had how do you feel about week 5? How do you feel about what just transpired in the National Football League? No more undefeated teams. That's a quick recap. The divisions are messier as all get out. Ravens are cooked.
Well,
Chiefs cooked.
I guess real quick, as a digression, because you broke the news last week. Not really broke news, but for our audience that, you know, 25-year-old OnlyFans models all over the world that are
Well, of
watching us
course, of course, of course.
because we're so attractive. But you broke that Dylan Gabriel is going to start, and then sometime after that, the Shador Sanders kind of,
The mime video kind of came out.
and we never really talked about it. You made a TikTok about it. Did you want to maybe give that a couple seconds, and then because it's kind of pertinent because Joe Flacco got traded yesterday.
Joe Flacco did get traded. He got traded to the Bengals, right? This did you know that's the very first trade that the Bengals and Browns have ever done?
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Do you even know the history of the Browns and the Bengals?
Well, they're both in Ohio.
This is like some college football stuff, right?
Well, hold on, no. I do know this. Wasn't it that like the owners or like the general manager or the coach or something back in the day was a Brown, and then he wanted more control or power or something like that and wasn't going to get it, so he became like the general manager or coach or owner of the Bengals, and it was kind of like a knock on them, but kind of like we're gonna fuck with you as much as we can type thing.
You're pretty close, and I don't and like don't be like quoting me on any sort of trivia night, but the Cleveland Browns are named such because the owner was Jim Brown, and he's like, I want, and then he
Really
got
stupidly, Jimmy Haslam owns it now, and we
yes,
talked about this, and hasn't changed the name, and and
Cleveland
is sticking
Haslam's
with
go
the
crazy.
Cleveland Browns with the ugliest uniforms, the ugliest name,
Boring
and
logo.
just like a terrible kind of modern history. So what the fuck gives, Haslam? Why don't you fucking change the name and give the players something that they can be kind of like proud to wear and fucking fan like we talked about it in the this was or the development of the banana little
This yes,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
because
yes.
the Browns are so not
Boring.
uninteresting that you went
Forget
into
them.
a banana little history.
I did going, yes, they're the banana team of the NFL, right? Okay, so here, this is going to launch right into the Shador Sanders. They're the banana team of the NFL, which means that they are boring. Nobody wants to talk about them. Nobody wants to give them any attention, right? But yeah, so Jim Brown owned the Cleveland Browns, and somehow he got fired, and I don't understand how you fire an owner or whatnot. But so then he went to make a new team, who is the Cincinnati Bengals, which is crazy bit of like early NFL lore, right? So that's super interesting that they finally completed their first trade. But so Shador Sanders, we never really got to talk about it, did the weird like mime thing, right? And so there's it goes deeper than just like this is a young kid that the media try to force into a first round pick, like, you know, oh, is he the best quarterback in the league? Ended up being like a fifth or sixth rounder, right? There's more to it because there's such a thing called like media like access, right? And as his position in the Cleveland Browns, he does not have like other players can have media access and they're like, hey, I want to do this, this, this. He has no such thing because he's so far down the depth chart. So the Browns are literally enabling him to go on to camera and be who he is and to be divisive. And I mean, it's almost kind of the Jerry Jones thing to where I think they're doing it just to get media hype. I mean, any press is good press, right? But then they let him go and do this weird mime thing where he is outright disrespecting, I think, Dylan Gabriel by like what are you doing here, man? And now I did see like last night he came out with another little clip right? About where he talked about Joe Flacco being traded. I did not get a chance to listen to it yet, but it looks like it takes place in like a car dealership. Like you're like, why is he at like this like Nissan place? It's super strange. The entire thing is super strange. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. The guy gives me the ick right now. He gives me like young little entitled kind of energy. But I don't know how you feel about it.
So yeah, as everybody as the as a regular football fan knows, somebody who watches, you know, not a casual that just tunes in for big games of the Super Bowl, but a weekly football watcher and college football watcher, or at least somebody who's paying attention loosely because they know that pros come from the college level. know that Shador's college career wasn't very. He put up decent numbers, but the teams never won. I mean, I think this last year they won. I think did they go 4-8 both years or something like that in
I think so.
Colorado?
Maybe push another win for them in one of the years. But yeah, like
So losing record, but good numbers. And so I was never anti Shador. I always was concerned that there was like the rumors that the Giants were looking for a QB and Shador was a possibility. And I wasn't anti Shador. I certainly didn't want to use a first or second round pick on him. But if we could have got him, you know, kind of where he went, fourth or fifth, I would have been okay with that. But the problem that I saw in college was it's kind of what how I describe Aaron Rodgers is that those MVP years, a lot of check downs, not a lot of risk, so your touchdown INT ratios look insane, and your numbers pop off the page, and people aren't going to blame you for the loss because most people just see the box score, the stats. Oh, Shador went 22 of 32 for 250 and two touchdowns, but if you're not pushing the ball downfield and you're making a lot of safe passes, you can do those things. That's kind of what I saw a lot of. What I don't like is the racial component of the situation because you've posted some very obviously joking TikToks, you know,
yes,
and there's always there are people on both sides for sure, and it's definitely that's why the media loves Shador Sanders
yep.
polarizing, right? Because there are groups of people that don't like him because of who he is and who his dad is. And there's another group of people that like him specifically for those reasons and want him to
Hmm.
succeed as kind of a slap in the face uh, to the other. Like people are just petty and kind of using this kid as their proxy to get to just I don't know stupid shit. The only thing, the thing with the little mime deal is, like you said, when you're lower on the depth chart, that's the other thing. People were really pissed off. Shador Sanders fans were really pissed off because like, how could he not be the second string? And I was kind of like, that is interesting. But then I watched some guy, and I should have wrote his name down to give him credit. But he had said that the reason why he wouldn't be second string behind Dylan and Joe Flacco is because during practice, Dylan Gabriel's going to get 100% of the reps for with the first team.
Hmm.
Okay. Joe Flacco's been that for the first month. So he kind of already knows. But if you're not getting any reps with the first team, which would be a Shador,
Hmm.
then you don't want him to be your second because if
Yeah,
something happened to Gabriel, you want the guy who's most prepared
who
to
can
go
run the
in.
offense?
And that's how it goes for every team. So this wasn't a slight against Shador going to third. It was we're going to go with Dylan for this week or the next couple weeks to see what he's got, and it only makes logical sense that you wouldn't have him go in because he'd be completely unprepared, having no reps during the week and game planning and preparation. So that kind of explains that. But there's obviously this. Oh well, look, they just want him to fail and fuck him. So the interview thing, it just kind of bugs me because, as you said, guys on that low in the depth chart are not given many opportunities to speak. But because of his dad and his kind of aura, he's getting opportunities to, and he's missing layups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the Shador fan crowd is going to say, well, if he says something, he's criticized for it. If he doesn't say anything, he's criticized for it. And this is kind of him playing, the middle, or both sides against the middle or whatever. But like all you have to say in that situation is, hey, Dylan's the starter. I'm going to keep working hard, and I'm going to do whatever the team needs me to do uh, to get better and to make this team better. So when my number's called, I'll be ready. But right now, I'm going to help Dylan do whatever he needs to do to prepare for the game,
Hmm.
and that's it. But to do that, and then I guess maybe Dion had like did something on Instagram or Twitter that it was kind of like a laughing emoji
Can't
type
keep
thing.
up.
I'm not sure if that's true or not. I didn't see it because I don't follow Dion. I don't like our Twitter account is the Twitter and IG, I don't really get on it much at all, honestly. But that's a funny story because I did say one thing on Twitter about Kansas City, and some lady did not like me for that. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, he missed a layup. I understand that he's in like a what sometimes could be feels like a no-win situation, or no win or whatever, a
Lose
lose-lose
lose.
situation, because he is
What a
being
weird way to phrase it.
he is being unfairly criticized for stupid shit, because this really was a nothing. I'm not even really like upset that he did that
It was
way.
a
It's
something. It was an
just
intentional choice to be annoying. It reminded me of my
right.
5 year.
No, it I'm just saying, like, in a locker room, guys are fucking around all the time. It's not that big of a deal. But in those
You're a
situations
grown
with the
fucking
media,
man. Yeah,
you kinda just gotta be professional in that moment, and not whatever. So that was kind of my take on it, is don't miss the layups, man. Just fucking
don't miss the layups. Don't miss the layups. Want to know what we should do? I'm just like, as opposed to like, because I mean, I've really been enjoying this like friendly banter right here, and I don't want to like ramrod this and like go over each game individually. I mean, this is we're 5 weeks in. We're cresting on like 35% of the season's done, right? I mean, let's just do a general vibe check and let's just feel like the winners and the losers so far of the league year. Because I'm looking at this and there's some losers here. There's also some winners.
well, how about we
Like,
do that by using the schedule from last week, and just we can glance over the ones that don't matter. Like we don't really Claire. We don't really care about the Cleveland Minnesota game. Um, Las Vegas Indy, what happened we expected.
what? No, here, winner of the NFL season right now is the fucking Indianapolis Colts and
And Dak Prescott
Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones. Like, that's
and Mac
what.
Jones.
And no, yeah, that's another winner is Kyle Shanahan just manifesting. No, this is crazy. Kyle Shanahan just manifesting Mac Jones to be like just an absolute gamer, and still the 49ers are 4-1 right now, which if you would have asked me and been like, "Hey Brandon, you grabbed me on the street and you're like, "Hey, you know about all the injuries and you know Purdy hasn't been playing and you know Kittle's on IR and you know all this," and I'd be like, "What are they 2-3? They're 4-1, right?" Also crazy. They don't have a rushing touchdown this year.
Really?
Is that not insane? They do not
A
have a
Kyle
rushing
Shanahan team.
with Christian McCaffrey does not have a rushing touchdown.
And Christian's got to be leading the league in touches right now, right?
He,
Because
he
he's getting like
is.
25, 30 a game.
Yeah. And
But so
no
let's
rushing
talk about that game
touchdown.
real quick then, because I think everybody we both, I think, said that the Rams should just win this easily. It should be whatever the spread was, they should cover. This should be a blowout, right? I
Yeah.
thought so. I'll be honest. I
Yep.
thought the Rams would just boat race them, whatever they could say, just
Yeah,
blow them
yeah,
off the
yeah.
field. Um, and Mac Jones, I don't know what he was having, all types of issues. There was a time where you know I was at work and I saw the little message from Gil, Mac dead. No, I was at home. I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't see this. I saw Mac dead. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm gonna go look at that. And it turned out to be nothing, but then he's like puking on the sideline or dry heaving. There's all these
Yeah,
different
he's getting
things
the
going
shit beat
on.
out of him.
He's got like one leg, and he
He's
just keeps
fine.
fucking dotting Kendrick Bourne, who had like
Figuring it
two
out.
catches prior to that. I just wanted to mention it was funny because I have Kyron Williams in our dynasty league, and he had that really costly fumble there at the goal line, and I was on Twitter just seeing what's the reaction, and it's so like people like I don't know how much of it is trolling or kind of like our sense of humor, where it kind of like over the top, even though we know it's really not that important.
But yeah,
But
exaggeration for the
the
sake of
level of
comedy.
vitriol and anger and just over the top fucking Kyron Williams is a piece of shit. Fuck
Just the
Kyron
worst
Williams.
person I've ever met.
Worst person ever.
He's
But on this
ass.
the other side of that, it was weird too, because I was seeing 49ers fans say, "Oh, well, don't worry about it because Kyle Shanahan uh always fucks these things up." and I'm thinking Kyle Shanahan uh, might be the best coach in the league.
Yeah. Like,
And everyone else can see it, but the 49er fans are like, this guy's fucking sucks. He's costing us games. I just thought that was an interesting kind of uh, situation where 49ers like, fuck Kyron Williams. He sucks. Get him out of here immediately. He's a bitch. Just cussing him out. The flip side of that, Kyle Shanahan sucks and is a bitch and is going to blow this game. Settle down.
people love being reactionaries. Speaking of being a reactionary, again, I'm just peeking. I'm just seeing like who again, winners and losers. Big loser for this year. Geno Smith has not been as advertised. He's been awful. How do you feel about Geno Smith?
Well, he's one of my guys that I've grown to be a fan of. Um, we've mentioned the great quotes in Seattle. I didn't write back, and then this year, uh, didn't come here to roll the dice. Came here to run the table. The Raiders made all these big changes. Pete Carroll
Pete
comes in.
Carroll, yeah, yeah,
Chip Kelly, I think, is their OC. They
yep.
draft Ginty. They get Besh.
They have Bowers
That
on there. I mean,
they
they
get
get
that
some things on the line.
Thornton or whatever. People's expectations are like this is a playoff team, right? Gino and I was like, I think preseason, I was like, Gino gives them stability, but I don't think they're a playoff team yet. I'm
He's
not gonna
stable, all right.
I'm not gonna pretend that I knew that it would be this bad, but been pretty bad, you know.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. It's pretty darn.
And things don't get easier for them because, their division's ridiculously good.
Yeah,
Um, and so I think I even said before they should be looking at QB in the draft.
they should be. They 100% should be. Here's another. Here's another. No, what else do you got on the schedule? Let's go through your schedule because you were going through and I was bittering and bantering.
Well, I
And
thought
I got
no, go ahead.
and I got winners and losers for fucking everything. What's the next one?
Winner, I'll just so I was a big fan of that Thursday night game because Thursday night games are usually like a slugfest, but this one was, back and forth.
They've been
Both
good this year.
both teams have been both teams played well. It was just a matter of a turnover at the wrong spot. Minnesota, Cleveland, boring. Indy, Las Vegas, pretty boring just because Las Vegas didn't come to play.
Yep.
I heard on the Dan Patrick show because I see, Indy won 40-6, and I was supposed to be at that game until Mark Sanchez made me pass out and faint. Um, After that, it's the Giants and Saints. What do you think? Because I'm going to probably go for a minute or two here.
I I really wanted the Giants to win this game. I thought the Giants had them. Not had them, but like at any point in the game. I did not get to watch too much of it, but before I was pretty darn confident. I think maybe even I bet the Giants the spread. Winner is Spencer Rattler getting a dub, right? And also I still love Cam Scatterbo. I feel like I don't know, like I feel like he had some more opportunity in that game. I did not watch it too much, but I'm heartbroken for you because the NFC East is better. It's most fun when we're all competitive, and I can't believe you gave the Saints their first win of the season. How did you feel watching this game?
So I watched every play. Um, and I was talking a lot of shit because Giants' first two drives were picture perfect. They score on their first two drives, and then it's fucking all downhill from there. Cam Scatterbo had a potentially game-losing fumble on like the 6-yard line that was returned for a touchdown when it was 19-14. That made it 26-14. Slayton, who's been probably the Giants' most reliable receiver over the last 6 or 7 years, had a costly fumble in the red zone. Art had a really silly fumble where he went to scramble or roll out and run and just lost grip of the football. No one touched him or anything. He just dropped it.
It's tough.
Um, so a very sloppy game. I think they ended up with 5 turnovers.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was 3 fumbles and 2 picks. But one of the picks I think was maybe one of those kind of like Hail Mary punt situations. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember. So here's one thing I want to talk about because you mentioned being reactionary earlier. I am a fan by every definition,
Metric, yeah.
and what that inherently implies is that I am crazy. This whole thing, being a fan of a team in sports, is a little crazy. We buy the jersey, we buy the merch, we buy these expensive tickets, we root for guys we've never met most of the time. Uh, and we get in some heated arguments with our friends over this shit. Nothing's logical about this.
Not a thing.
This is a kids game that adults play with high stakes and a lot of emotion, and I will never root against the Giants or badmouth the Giants. Sometimes, uh, over the course of a discussion, like I did say something about, like the Giants failed Danny Jones before, uh, and I was pissed off at Dable about that. So one thing I want some probably the younger crowd to understand too, um, when I say things like Giants are never good, well, this might have been Captain Pastrami, and I'm just kind of repeating what I heard, but I think him and I have on the same wavelength here. When I say that the Giants are never going to lose again and they're going to win the Super Bowl, do I honestly think that? No, it's fucking ludicrous. But I'm
Hype.
going to say that because I'm never going to expect them or want them to lose. Cautionary tale about being a fan. I think Brandon could even attest to this. Him and I have been friends since middle school, but we've gotten closer over the last year or two. Never any beef or anything, but you graduate and go separate ways and you kind of whatever. But in our group chat, Brandon, have you ever saw me or read a message from me that says, "Hey, I want to bet on the Giants to win, like
No,
money"?
no, I don't think so.
Because I don't bet any real stakes type stuff on the Giants.
I never bet on
You
the Eagles either. That's crazy, but go.
Because you don't bet with your heart, you try to bet with logic and reasoning. But even if the Giants were good, I would still hesitate to bet on them because you're putting a lot of it reminds me of a George Carlin joke because George Carlin has it like a religious joke where he's talking about like, he wanted to pray to like the sun or Joe Pesci or whatever, and he was like, "Well, I would never ask them to do anything because I feel like I would be impeding or imposing on our friendship, you know." And when I try to bet on the Giants to win and they lose, it's like a double gut punch.
100%.
And I didn't even think about this until like the next day, but I took the Giants in my survivor pool. And I thought that the Saints would be so bad and this momentum would carry over that they should be fine. And clearly they're not. But that's another reason why I don't bet on the Giants. And it's not because they suck, because when they were winning when we were in high school and they were a good team, I only made little fucking minor bets with friends and some teachers. This little digression. We're freshmen. 2007. Giants are like 9-7, 10-6, wild card team. Mr. Ross and Mr. Bruno. Mr. Ross, I think, is a Green Bay Packer fan.
Hmm.
Mr. Bruno is a Cowboy fan. And I'm a freshman, and maybe I've had their class already, but I remember I'm going to class and I see them talk, and the playoffs are about to start, and something about they're talking. I like the Cowboys here, and I like the Packers for this. And I walk up into the middle. I'm like, "Oh, you guys talking football?" Like, yeah. And I said, "Well, the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl." And Mr. Bruno, this is one of my favorite stories of all time, who I barely know, looks at me and he says, "You're stupid." And that was hilarious. So I hope somebody doesn't get fired over this. But we had like a $5 or a $10 bet. I think me and Mr.
Hmm.
Ross had like a soda bet. And when the Giants beat the Cowboys, there was a $10 bill on my desk. And when the Giants beat the Packers, there was a Sprite on my desk. So little shit like that. And at work, I worked with a Cowboys fan, and we would do like a 6 pack of beer.
Hmm.
And if the spread was really out of control, I'd be like, "Well, look, I'm not just gonna give this to you for free. So how about spotting me like a field goal or something to make this
Right.
fucking make sense? So I say a lot of crazy shit, and I'll never say anything bad about the Giants because I'm a fan. And so I don't understand why this is confusing for some people because I keep getting, you're crazy or that's stupid or, what do you think now? I think the same thing. We're never going to lose again. Jackson Dart is the best quarterback ever.
Giants by 30 on Thursday Night Football. I love your little tirades. I love that.
Oh, I got to
What's
cut
it?
him back though. Go ahead.
What's the other team you got on the thing? Keep going.
Um,
We got winners, losers.
Dak Prescott's MVP.
Dak
Jets
Prescott is
are
MVP.
terrible.
The Jets are so bad. Aaron Glenn is so. He was supposed to be the defensive coach. They've looked so bad. This poor cursed franchise.
So let's go to let you go on a rant if you'd like. I did take Denver last second. Denver beats Philly in Philly. Let's let you talk for like 20 minutes.
I'm not. I'm not. I told you again, just like you. I never put a lot of credit on the Eagles. Like, I never, like, talked them up. I never hyped them up. People at work all the time will, like, try and talk shit to me. And it's like, over the last, like, 4 years, I've been having a good time, right? And, no, like, the last, like 7 or 8 years, right? Like, we've been on the up. I've never really talked. I talk shit here and there, but, like, I never put a lot of credit on them. I like to be a realist of a fan. I knew the Eagles had to lose. The Eagles had to lose either this game or the Bucks game. They happen to lose this game. Yeah, ticky-tack, ref calls, all that kind of stuff. We don't have to get into it. They had to get punched in the mouth so then they can go back to the drawing board and they can see what's going on with their offense, which is the big issue. Kevin Patullo, again, I told you, shade you 2023. I think the team's too talented to not figure it out. Underrated downside of our season that not a lot of people are talking about is our offensive line is like bottom half in the league, which has never been the case. We're like,
interesting.
Yeah. Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Cam Jurgens, our center, are all playing through injuries. They're just slow, right? They're slow. They're making mistakes. That happens. That makes it hard in order to get the running game going. Saquon's averaging half as many yards per carry as he did last year. Then that also takes away some of the passing, opportunities. And Jalen Hurts has become obsessed with protecting the football. His big thing in 2023 was that he was turnover prone, fumbles and interceptions. Now he won't even risk it. He's NFL record or tied like 18 or 19 games without an interception. That's bad. Sorry, that's bad. That means that you're not airing it out and trusting your receivers, right? We needed to lose. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not panicking. This was a gauntlet of the beginning of the season. I'm very, very happy with 4-1. Broncos are a good defense. They're a good team. But the only thing I want to talk about, and A.J. Brown's going to be fine. Everybody shut the fuck up. But did you see what happened at the end of the Eagles game? And I want to live in a world to where this happens.
Well,
and I don't think
I watched the end of I watched the end of the game. So I'm not sure if I'm going to I'm going to say what you were referring to. So say what you're going to say, and I'll say if I had a similar thought.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. And if it would have worked, it would have been probably one of the greatest sports moments in history. End of the game, Hail Mary. Jalen Hurts hauls it, and actually A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith fight over, and they actually break up the thing themselves, right? But Jalen Hurts throws the ball from like the 35-yard line and immediately starts running towards the end zone. Because this fucking psychopath manifested in his head. He threw it high. So he did not like throw like he almost went like Russell Wilson. Like he threw it high and slow. And I'm like, this motherfucker's trying to catch his own Hail Mary. And if you watch the replay, if it would have been batted up as opposed to batted down, there was a chance that he was going to catch his own Hail Mary, which would have been nuclear. That'd
be the greatest play in all of sports ever. I didn't see that or hear about that. I saw the last play.
Yeah.
That isn't fucking insane.
Absolutely insane. I was watching it live, and then you can't tell like when they're doing like the broadcast stance until at the end when the balls like when all the players are falling and stuff. You see him run into the end zone, and I'm like you're not even paying attention to it. But if you watch like from behind the bag, he throws it, and like Bugs Bunny starts running towards it. Like,
He's
could you
either
imagine?
that's could be a combination of two things. He's either a basketball player too. That's also just kind of like pretty cool, good coaching because you would never see anybody else say to do that.
No, insane, right? So I just
But
thought that
in
was a fun little snippet.
basketball, your fundamentals suggest you
Go for the
follow
rebound.
your
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
So you shoot and then you run towards the basket in case you miss.
absolutely insane. The next one that we got here, I have another loser for the NFL season, and it's the Baltimore Ravens. I've never seen such a preseason hang the banner Super Bowl contender. This is it'd be so down in the dumps. This is crazy. Another loser is Derrick Henry. Ready? You ready for this? You want to talk about fantasy football?
Well,
Week
that's not
one.
his fault.
Week one, Derrick Henry had 28 points. He's had 28 points since. That's crazy.
I
They're
was
so
going to
bad.
have like this really like funny joke planned if the Ravens won because I think everybody and their fucking mother knew that the recipe for a Ravens win would be give Derrick Henry the ball 40 times
Mm-hmm.
because there was this guy in Tennessee who carried his team to
The
multiple
AFC
playoff
Championship
appearance
game? Yeah.
multiple playoff appearances with an average quarterback and solid defense. We can't really say that about the Ravens. But there's that, you remember that guy that just a bulldozer carries his team.
Give your good players the ball, man.
Derrick Henry reminds me of that guy.
A lot.
And so for Derrick Henry, I think I saw he had I tweeted something at the Ravens because I think in the first half he had like 8 touches, and I was like, I want John Harbaugh and Todd Monken arrested for Derrick Henry negligence. This is fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? I mean, are you what? What is the how? What is the mindset? Okay, they know we're gonna run it because that's a really good idea. So we're not gonna do that.
No, man. They're lost in the
We're gonna
sauce.
let Cooper Rush throw for more than Derrick Henry runs.
Stupid.
Oh, man. So yeah, I mean but the fucking Ravens defense, my goodness.
Generational loser.
I mean, 44, 37, 38, 40, and there are 4 losses, 41, 38, 37, 44. Like,
That's insane.
they only beat the Browns, and the Browns scored 17 on them. Is that the most the Browns have scored? 16,
Guarantee.
17, 13, 10. So they've scored 17 twice.
Crazy.
So yeah, and their losses are giving up 40 a game, it looks like. That's not good.
Not
So
sustainable.
it almost feels like even if Lamar was 100% healthy, they're dead man walking
Dead man walking.
because they have to score 45 a game,
Just it's not
and I don't
sustainable,
think
man.
it, that can't happen. They're lucky they got the Bengals and the Browns in their division. Let's look at their fucking schedule moving forward. So they just lost. They got the Rams next this week. That's a loss. Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. So they got a stretch of 5 games where they could win. That would help. That could bring them back to 500. They could be 5-5 or five
Just
and
tough,
six
man.
or something. But then it's
But
Steelers.
nobody thought it'd be that way heading in.
Yeah, but then they're gonna end the year with some shit because they got uh Steelers at the end of the year. This is their last. I'll shut up and just try to get this right because I'm gonna stumble over everything. To end the year, Patriots, Packers, Steelers.
That's a rough 3 game stretch.
And if they do manage to get to 500 on this little soft stretch, because they could lose the Bears pretty easily, they could lose the Vikings easily, The Browns might fucking do something. With as bad as his defense is, the Jets could have one of those 250-yard rushing games. They might be dead, and that was my Super Bowl champ, so that's fucking nice.
Week 5 winners and losers? I mean, the winners are Baker Mayfield and Dick Hammer's grandson, Sam Darnold, and whoever got to watch this game. Those quarterbacks are both really, really, they're really fun. They find ways to win.
There was
Another
10
one-score
incompletions
game.
in that game.
Really?
Combined.
That's insane. That's a fun
So
fact.
I don't know how long this game lasted, but it probably went, it felt like it was going up 1,000 miles a minute because just electric. Baker Mayfield, 4 incompletions, 29 to 33, 379, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries, 15 yards. Sam Darnold, 28, 34, 341, 4 touchdowns, and a pick that
Golly, dude.
went through somebody's hands and was kind of deflected.
Another one-score game as well. Hey, NFL record for one-score games through week 5. I mean, it's kind of been that way, right?
Also, I mentioned this already. Dan Patrick said there's been more 40-point games through 5 weeks this year, the most since 1967 or something like that.
Defenses are so out. We're all offenses. And that's so funny because I remember like a year or two ago, people were like, oh, NFL offenses are dead because they're all playing spags, cover 2 shell and take away the explosive plays. And now look, here we are.
The other Bengals are terrible. Lions are still good. Chargers, another kind of disappointing outing. Any
injury.
Thoughts on that?
Loser is the injury bug. Like, I feel so bad for them. People just like Hampton's down, Najee Harris down, Slater's down, Joe Alt's down. I mean, they're still going to be okay, but this is like they had the opportunity. It's tough. There was also a funny thing to where Jane Daniels and Debo got a touchdown. They did a celebration in the end zone. I saw this morning, right? 2 plays before, they're in the huddle, and they're kind of like, tapping on each other, and they're like, hey. And they are practicing the dance that they're going to do in, 2 plays. That's disrespectful. What about Patriots-Bills?
What do you think about this? Because you were the one, I don't know if you took them or not. You might have played with it. I was the idiot that said Bills are going to, cover the 7.5-point spread.
I think I did. Divisional game, any given Sunday. Drake May's him. Drake May, I like him a lot, man. I like him a lot. This is just how sometimes it just goes, right? Divisional game, any given Sunday. Stephon Diggs, huge revenge game. I mean, there was a few, Drake May rolling out to his right is dangerous. Absolutely dangerous, It's fun. It's fun. The world's better when the AFC East has a little bit of competitiveness. So never thought I'd say it. The Patriots are a fun team to watch right now. We're years removed away from the trauma that they've put us all through. So, and Bills will be just fine.
I blame the loss, and I got heat on this for Twitter too. I was like, they're doing this whiteout thing, these cold front uniforms, and Ty Johnson, one of the running backs for the Bills, had red gloves.
No.
Cam Lewis, a corner, I think, had blue gloves on, and I said, hey, Buffalo Bills, hey, why are these guys not wearing white gloves? I would cut them right now. They don't want to be part of the team. And someone was like, well, that's racist because Dawson Knox is wearing different color gloves. I just saw the first 2 people I saw.
Yeah.
But if I'm a coach and I'm saying this is a whiteout,
We're
nobody's wearing any other color.
It's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yes, we're a team. We're a unit. Now here's the finale of the whatever. You took the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and tell me what happened in that game.
The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We willed it into existence.
You did, because I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Here's what transpired since we've last talked. I picked the Jaguars over the Kansas City Chiefs like a psychopath. They zoom in on Trevor Lawrence picking his nose on the broadcast. He then proceeds to lead a game-winning drive, show up right in the end zone, and then he takes a snap, and he not only falls, he falls twice. And he gets up, and he said after the game, he said, I fully intended to stand up and throw that ball out of bounds to stop the clock. And he's like, and I realized nobody was around. And he's like, so he ran in. Chris Jones was back there checking his phone, just doing nothing. Jaguars
Like,
by 1,000.
I have legs, and I'm allowed to run forward if I want. I think I'll do that. Ball game.
Travis Hunter is finally coming on as what they promised. I watched a little all 22 of all of his offensive defensive snaps. He had his best offensive game, I think, of the season, and he played 40 to 50% of snaps on defense. And if you watch him in coverage, he's just running the receivers' routes for him. He's so sticky on him, and then he has when he goes up for that catch where he goes like up on a ladder and there's two defenders. Insane. I could not be more in on the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. They're fun.
So for like the layman like you and I, we don't understand like the real ins and outs of how all this shit works. But I listened to another person I should have wrote down and give him credit, but they were saying that the plan with Travis Hunter for this year was he's going to learn one wide receiver position because there's the XYZ and blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. So he's only learning the X, I guess, which is the slot. So he's only learning that position and those routes. And so people are like, "Well, why aren't we seeing him more?" Well, he's very one-dimensional on offenses right now, not because of what
By
he's
design. By
by
design.
design, because learning all the defensive schemes and plans and all of the offense at one time should be impossible for anybody. So they're trying to do it in steps, which is why you're not seeing him as much as you thought you would,
But
because
when
in
he
the
is
off
there,
season we're all drinking the Kool-Aid, we're all hyped up, we're all making these grandiose predictions about, oh yeah, Travis Hunter is going to be, you know, top 3 receiver this year. Well, I'm not going to lie, because I'm stupid too. I thought he would be, in the conversation, or, in the top 12 or 15 area for receiver. And that might be next year or the year after that when he develops the full route tree in every position, or until the Jags say, we're going to use you on offense exclusively until we're down in games. And that's when you'll have to, because he's going to have to make a decision. I still don't fully believe that he can play both sides as well as he's expected to. It's
but he's doing better than I thought.
Yeah. Um. So one little, I guess, funny thing to end on, unless you got something else to say. So first touchdown of the game, there's a controversy because there's a flag thrown for what was it? Offensive pass interference. In football, the offense, the receivers or whatever, get 1 yard to block downfield until there's a completed pass or the ball carrier crosses the line of scrimmage, and then you can go down the field and block whatever. On the play where Pat throws it to Travis and Juju does this little pick route and he exceeds a yard because the touchdown was recorded as a 2 yard touchdown pass. So the line of scrimmage is 2 yards from the goal line. Everyone agree with that? And you can see the play, you can see where his feet are. He's Juju's feet before the pass is thrown are maybe a foot and a half away from the goal line. And if you understand what a yard is, you would know he has exceeded a yard, probably yard and a half, yard and 3/4 ish, because a yard's roughly what, 3 feet.
Yes, exactly 3 feet.
So if he's a foot and a half away from the goal line and it's a 2 yard play, he's
He's a yard
a yard and a foot and a
and a
half
half. Yep.
past. So I posted on Twitter because I knew this was going to be a funny thing, because you hear in the mic, the ref's mic, Pat walk up and say, "We get 1 yard," and that's true. Juju went past 1 yard, and the ref picks up his flag, and do they allow it? And the commentators are kind of baffled, And I just posted on Twitter, I'm glad we have referee Pat Mahomes out there to decide what penalties are. And this woman,
People.
Ann Hilton, and her profile picture is Chiefs Kingdom, says he clearly knows the rule book front to back, unlike the refs. And I said he went 2 yards, not one. She said it was less than a yard. And I said, I'm not going to argue with you. It was recorded as a 2 yard touchdown pass. And I have the pictures there. And I'm like, you can see Juju's feet where they are. He's past a yard. You have blinders on because you're a fan. I'm a fan too. I get it. But let's not deny what we can see with our eyes. And this woman said, kiss my fucking ass, and blocked me so I couldn't respond. And so touche, game respect game. Thought that was funny. I wasn't going to
What?
respond mean to her. I was going to say, hey, if you want to learn more about football, subscribe to Jive Sports. But I couldn't do that because she had blocked me after fucking getting the last word.
Absolutely tragic. Hey, before we get out of here, let's not rush at things, right? How do we feel about tomorrow's game, Thursday Night Football? Let's do just the Thursday night pick right now, you and I.
Well, in what way?
Who do you think's gonna win?
Well, who do I think is going to win? The Eagles.
You do?
If we're talking our bets, I'm going to say the Eagles. But if we're talking you versus me, the Giants are going to win 40-0.
Should we do a friendly wager?
I think we should. So the Eagles are 7.5-point favorites. The over/under is 40.5. Wow. So yeah,
I don't.
the Giants are going to win by 40. So take the over because the Eagles should get at least one.
I don't think the Eagles win by 7.5. Just so you know, I don't think the Eagles win by 7.5.
I hate how humble and modest and stuff you are. I don't get it.
Do you want me to be? Oh,
be more of an asshole.
So if the Giant, do you want to go straight up or you want to go spread? This is not us picking who we think is going to win. This is just pure pride. If Eagles win by more than 7.5, you have to do something. If not, I got to do something.
Well, so let's just make it a touchdown. Well, I guess that's what it is. Because the actual spread, I think, is 6.5. This open thing is saying minus 7.5. That's why I use
a touchdown. Let's do a touchdown. Straight touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in. I'm never going to say no.
Also,
but once again, kids, this is not high stakes money. Don't bet on your fucking favorite teams because it hurts you double if they lose.
Do not, yes. Do not bet on your favorite teams. This is just us being mean to each other. Do not bet on your favorite teams. You almost have to hedge your emotional bets, and you almost have to put the 401k on the team facing your team, because then if they lose, at least you're rich. This is also not legal financial advice.
I will say, this is pertinent because hockey's starting. And I learned this lesson not from watching football, but from I'm a Penguins fan. And we live in Michigan, so surrounded by Red Wings fans. And I like the Red Wings too. One of my favorite players of all time, maybe after Jaromir Jagr, is probably Pavel Datsyuk,
Mm-hmm.
So I never had any hate for the Red Wings, but when we were in school, in high school, the Red Wings and Penguins played back-to-back Stanley Cups. And when the Penguins lost the first year, I made a bunch of bets, and I lost a bunch of money. I had 10 $5 and $10 bets.
Oh yeah, crazy.
And then the next year I didn't bet at all and the Penguins won. So I was like, I'm just not going to bet on my teams anymore.
That's a lesson.
Money-wise.
That's a lesson in caution, yeah. That's a lesson in caution.
I don't know if you remember this, but Marian Hossa, one of my favorite players also from that era, was a Red Wing, or was a Penguin when the Penguins lost, and then switched to the Red Wings, and then the Penguins beat the Red Wings.
No.
So he went from loser to loser.
That stings.
Hockey. We're gonna start sneaking in some hockey shit in here.
Don't scare him away. Once again, I'm Brandon. This is Zach. Jive Sports. Thanks for putting up with us.